specter of war looms between U.S. and Iran as Trump makes shocking move. Iran and the USA may be hurtling towards all-out war after officially designating Iran's elite Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, as a foreign terrorist organization. The IRGC is a branch of Iran's armed forces founded after 1979 revolution, but is now classed in the same bracket as organizations like ISIS as far as the Trump administration is concerned. The danger was highlighted by RT correspondent John Huddy, who explained, the Trump administration officially put Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps on the U.S. State Department's list of designated foreign terrorist organizations, thus joining other groups such as ISIS, Boko Haram and Al-Qaeda, among many others. The designation went into effect today and it certainly raises concerns about the specter of war, particularly between the U.S. and Iran. The IRGC runs Iran's ballistic missile and nuclear programs. It's also tied to the country's shipping and banking industries. The U.S. says that the IRGC also supports Islamic militant groups around the world. The State Department estimates that Iran and the IRGC funds Hezbollah, which is an enemy of Israel, to the tune of $700 million a year. U.S. President Donald Trump said last week he would make the symbolic but unprecedented move, which immediately was condemned by Iran and created concerns about reprisal attacks on U.S. forces. The IRGC is in charge of Iran's ballistic missile and nuclear programs. It also is involved with the country's banking and shipping industries. The new designation makes it easier to prosecute companies or people in the European Union that do business with Iran. U.S. law already punishes U.S. persons who deal with the IRGC with up to 20 years in prison because of the group's designation under the U.S. Specially Designated Global Terrorist List, a different U.S. sanctions program. Iran agreed under a 2015 deal with world powers to restrict its nuclear program in return for the lifting of sanctions that had crippled its economy. Some of these limits are due to be removed after 10 years, and some others after 15 years. However, U.S. President Donald Trump withdrew from the deal last year, saying one of the defects in the accord is that limits on the Iranian nuclear program start to expire. On Saturday, France's ambassador to the United States, G.A. Copyright said on Twitter, "It's false to say that at the expiration of the JPOA, the nuclear deal, Iran will be allowed to enrich uranium," adding that sanctions could be reimposed. Iran says its nuclear program is for peaceful energy and medical purposes and that it has the right to process uranium for reactor fuel under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT, a global pact to prevent the spread of atomic arms. Iranian Deputy Foreign Minister Abbas Araqchi said Rod's comments were a major violation of the object and purpose of the JPOA, adding they needed immediate clarification by Paris, or react accordingly.
Good morning. I'm here to make an important foreign policy announcement concerning the Islamic Republic of Iran. Today, the United States is continuing to build its maximum pressure campaign against the Iranian regime. I am announcing our intent to designate the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, including its Quds Force, as a foreign terrorist organization in accordance with Section 219 of the Immigration and Nationality Act. This designation will take effect 1 week from today. This is the first time that the United States has designated a part of another government as an FTO. We're doing it because the Iranian regime's use of terrorism as a tool of statecraft makes it fundamentally different from any other government. This historic step will provide the world's leading state sponsor of terror the financial means to spread misery and death around the world. Businesses and banks around the world now have a clearer duty to ensure that companies with which they conduct financial transactions are not connected to the IRGC in any material way. It also gives the U.S. government additional tools to counter Iranian-backed terrorism. This designation is a direct response to an outlaw regime and should surprise no one. And it builds on the more than 970 Iranian individuals and entities that the Trump administration has already sanctioned.